Hello, everybody. So I, of course, am Dara Thomason, the life coach for quilters, and I am here with my beautiful client, Diana Bergstrom. And so Diana and I started working together back in August 2020. And so I'm going to have Diana just talk about her experience of working with me as her coach and with being in the group and all the things that have happened because she decided to invest in herself. So go for it, Diana.
Okay, well, that's a lot to ask for, if I can remember all of that.
You know what?
I first heard about Dara during watching one of Lisa Bonjean's videos, and her and Dara set up a 5-day free class, and I thought, well, free is a good price. So I signed up, and I got really fascinated by it. I thought, this is really different from anything I've ever done before. Then we start talking about cost. That was kind of intimidating because it's not cheap. And I remembered growing up that my mother had bad teeth because she always made sure my sister and I got our teeth fixed. She never had a decent winter coat because she always made sure my sister and I had a winter coat. And I thought, I'm doing the same thing. So I'm kind of telling everybody, go buy that winter coat. It's worth the money, because she had to get all her teeth taken out and I've still got all mine. So that was a long time ago. I was daunted at first because I was the oldest at that point in the group. And I'm still pushing the oldest one now very closely. Anyway, it was just a new learning experience. It was fun. I was bored. COVID had locked me up. And I started learning. And all of a sudden, I just felt like I've got to try some of this. I've got to stop watching it and try some of this. And that's kind of what I've been doing ever since. It's been a pretty much trial and error. I've changed my protocol. I don't know how many times. And every time I get a new one, I decide I don't like it. But I did give up sugar and I did give up flour, and I have not gone back to it. I'm proud of myself. I've kept my weight. We didn't have a lot of weight to lose. My problems were more mental baggage than weight. And I pretty much have kept my weight within 2 or 3 pounds of where I want to be since we started this.
So let's talk a little bit about the mental baggage, because like you said, not everyone who joins my program has a lot of physical weight to lose. But just talk a little bit about what patterns were you seeing and how have the tools helped you to catch yourself? Because I'm not creating robots here. I'm not saying you have to all be, but what I am teaching you is you can change those patterns that aren't serving you. So do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I would say the thing that really caught me the most, that really made me aware, were the 3 Ps. And I guess I should probably say what they are.
Yes.
If I can remember them now. It's people pleasing, procrastination, and perfectionism.
Right.
And I would say my biggest problem is people pleasing. And I run my life by people pleasing. And I'm learning how not to do that. I'm not perfect. I'm not there yet. But I am learning how to, when somebody says something, is to think, okay, Dara says, it just said words. I don't have to take those words to heart. I don't have to beat myself up. I still have guilt, but I have less guilt. My biggest problem right now is the shopping and the snacking. And I have cut my snacking down to nuts, so at least I'm not eating cookies and potato chips and things like that. And then she did mention Lily's chocolate, and I have to admit every once in a while I have a little square of Lily's chocolate.
Not a problem.
That's just being good to yourself. That's just saying, I really love you, Diana. Enjoy this little piece of chocolate. Yeah. So the snacking has been harder. I mean, that's a habit. I used to say I did my best eating in bed. Years and years and years. If we went out for dinner, I'd hardly eat. And then I'd take it all into bed with me and watch TV or read and eat. And that's been a hard habit to break. It's like, okay, it's after 8 o'clock. It's time to eat. So I'm really working on that. We are eating 2 meals a day, 2 and 6. My husband has lost about 30 pounds. Even though he's not trying to do it, he's still doing it.
I always tell women when they invest in the program, they're actually getting 2 for 1, because inevitably husbands lose weight just because they see what the role that they have were placing on food, and now they can change their relationship.
Well, they do, but like he hasn't given up sugar. He hasn't given up potato chips. I mean, he doesn't give up a lot, but he's eating a lot healthier because that's how I'm cooking. And yeah, cooking takes longer these days because I can't open cans and zip open bags anymore. I've got to go chop stuff up. But it sure tastes good when you get done. So
you're worth taking care of, just like your teeth. And
yeah, so like I say, I'm not there yet, but I feel like I'm closer than I was 6 months ago.
right.
And the group, I really have to admit, I was upset when we gave up the one-on-one coaching for a while. And the group, I wasn't really enthusiastic about it. I didn't say too much, but I really wasn't, thinking it's just going to cover ground I've already covered. But I'm not sorry now. And the other ladies are just phenomenal. I mean, it's great. You can take a show and you can talk to one person for most of it, and everybody enjoys it. I mean, it's not like we're like, well, how come she didn't pick me to do that? Because you're learning from these other people. And I'm discovering that pushing 79 really, really hard now, like less than 2 months. I can change. I mean, I don't have to stay the way I am. I'm not going to go walking around the block and run 20 miles because I can't do that anymore. But we did buy a treadmill, and I am doing some walking in the house, and I could read my modules while I'm doing it.
Well, isn't that amazing?
So that's kind of where I'm at, and I'm just looking forward to the next few months, and then we'll see what happens after that.
Absolutely. Well, one of the things that I do say to my clients is the reason why I have the group is 3 months, because it's so important to recommit to yourself. So as you see it from Diana's example, she's not needing to lose lots of physical weight, but the mental weight. And I love, even in the first lesson, it is weight loss science is simple. So you even learned from that, and that's going to help you combat the night eating. It's going to help you combat the nuts, because one of the reasons, so just as a side note to all of you out there, snacking is always a social event. And so we get to solve what's really going on. And I love what Diana said about she's not quite there yet. Of course not. We're humans. And I love that. In fact, one of the things that I talk about is that, so when I used to be a school teacher, and everyone's been in grade 1, kindergarten, we learned the concept of addition. And so then you go to grade 2 and grade 5 and grade 9, and you still learn addition, but you get harder and harder levels. So that's the other reason of, I'm going to teach you these principles, I'm going to teach you these tools, and the more that you progress, the more you're going to learn and grow from them. And so I love that this is not like you're becoming cured, because it's not like we're bad in the first place. We just have different thought patterns that have given us different results.
You know, something else I was going to mention, when I first started with you, I have to admit, I did some of the homework, but I really wasn't paying attention. I was waiting for that magic cure from you to say, this is what you have to do.
Yeah.
And so I didn't learn as much. Now I know that you're not going to let me get away with that anymore. And I'm thinking it's my money. I should be getting something. And so now I'm really paying attention to what we're learning. And I think when you start, especially if you haven't been in school for years and years and years and years, it's hard to get back into studying and to reading. And I mean, besides Cozy Mysteries and those kinds of things. And yeah, I was thinking, I never did understand, I can't even remember the name, leptin and ghrelin and or white river, something like that, and insulin. And yet today or yesterday, it became a lot clearer because I actually read what you wrote and then listened to you.
Also, too, Diana, I want you just to know that you were exactly where you're supposed to be. When we first worked together, that's what you were supposed to learn. And really, you came so far. And yes, lots of things happen. And I always say, wherever the discomfort is, lean into it. Because I mean, you've had some pretty steep learning curves. I don't know if you're giving yourself as much credit, but I was there for you, and I will continue to be there for you. And wherever you are is exactly perfect. So that's also really nice to know.
It's very hard to give up the all or nothing.
All right. Well, that's why we have the Monday class of perfection recovery, because
Yeah.
so many of us.
Yes, that is a great class. I think that's a class that would be well worth taking again.
Oh, absolutely. We're just going to keep doing that we'll just go every 12 weeks. We'll just keep doing the perfection recovery, because we're always going to learn, and it's workshop style, right? So we're always learning and growing. So I have a question for you. If someone's watching this recording and they're a little bit worried about the price, they're a little bit worried about being in a group, they're a little bit worried about not counting calories or doing something, it's very revolutionary of how I teach weight loss, mental and physical weight loss. What would be your advice to them?
Well, speaking now, instead of what I might have said 6 months ago or 7 months ago, it is spendy to do it, but I am worth it. And I am learning valuable things that I never would have learned before. I mean, and I'm learning how, and I can eat anything I want. I just have to plan it. I mean, I can say, okay, tomorrow I'm going to have chocolate cake. And maybe I'll gain a pound or two, but I'm going to eat chocolate cake because it sounds really good, although it really doesn't anymore, you know. Potato chips still kind of have a ring, you know, but, you know. But it's worth it if you love yourself and you want to be better. If you're happy where you're at, you don't need to do it, you know. But if you've got problems, and like I said, at first it was really hard because weight wasn't really my issue, but I learned really quick that didn't have to be that. Mm-hmm. And besides, I had really bad eating habits. So yeah. I am changing those. So that's a good thing. I've learned all the way.
Well, and you've also there's a lot of shame. There was a lot of blame. There was a lot of like emotional baggage that came with the eating. And so there was all of that, you know, hiding the food and worrying about what other people thought of you. All of that is just a part and parcel about our relationship. Right. And so the other part too is we don't have to be afraid of it anymore. We don't have to be fearful. There's nothing like it. It's all of a benefit to do this work. So thank you so much, Diana. It is an absolute pleasure and privilege to be your life coach.
I can say the same thing to you.
I love working with you. I have grown so much. One of the things that I love about working with Diana is she's so willing to learn. So I will give her a challenge and I'll say, okay, every day you need to report back about this, this, or this. And she's very diligent. And I can see how that cumulative effect of doing that, and that happens in the group as well. I give group members challenges. And if they're not following through, I'll give them a little tap, tap. Hey, I haven't seen that yet. Tap, tap, what's going on? And so it doesn't have to be one-on-one to get that same level of success.
Yeah, just interject one thing.
Yes, for sure.
When she gives you a challenge, she likes to give you a challenge with witnesses around. So you can't say, oh, I don't remember that, because it's been recorded and you've got it. You know, and you've got all these other ladies that are going to say, you know.
That's right. Yeah, and we're just taking the shame out of all of it, because as we go a little deeper dive, for those that don't know my program as well, but when we have shame, it actually affects our hormones. And so we have lower estrogen and it affects how we show up. If we have blame, we have higher than normal estrogen. And so that also affects how we show up. And so there's a lot more to how our thoughts are affecting us than we even imagine.
I agree. Hormones are very fascinating. I didn't think I had them anymore. How wrong I was.
It's so much fun. Well, Diana, so all you can see, there's so much variety of all the clients we have. The group is you just feel like there's a sisterhood. It's just amazing. But really it is your willingness to buy in. And so even though it has been a struggle, and I love your honesty, Diana, there's times where it will be a struggle, but I teach you how to work through that. So thank you so much. You're amazing.
But don't doubt the goal, doubt the
doubt.
That's right. Okay.
That's right. All right. Take care. Thanks so much.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.